A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students of class 12th, subject Environmental Science, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today our topic is methodology used in environment impact assessment. The term methodology is a structured approach for accomplishing one or more of the basic activities. It is a complex procedure, technique, and tool that together fulfill the purpose. Following methods are used. Number first, that is ad hoc method. This is the most common approach to impact assessment. Basically, ad hoc method indicates broad areas of likely impacts by listing composite environmental parameters likely to be affected by the development. Number second, that is sample checklist. A list of parameters. However, no guidelines are provided on how environmental parameters data to be measured and interpreted. Number third, that is matrices. Matrices are most common method used for impact identification in environment impact assessment. It includes following. Sample matrices are merely two-dimensional charts showing environmental components on one axis and development action on another. Number second, time-dependent matrices include a number of sequences to represent the time scale, where magnitude is represented by number over course of time. Magnitude matrices describe the impacts according to their magnitude, importance, and time frame. And number third, that is overlays. Describes well-developed approach used in planning and landscapes architecture by overlaying the maps. The degree of impact are shown by shading, with darker shading representing a greater impact. Now there is public participation. The basic purpose of public participation is to promote productivity use of inputs and precipitations from private and public interest groups in order to improve the quality of environmental decision making. These citizens oriented activities are seriously referred to as citizens participation. Public involvement. Interest groups include those representatives of industry, development, conservation, and preservation. Public participation is required in environmental decision making by the regulations of the government. Thus, public participation can be defined as a continuous 2 days communication process, which involves promoting full public understanding of the process and needs are investigated and solved by the responsible agencies. Public participation is an important component of the environment impact assessment process. The public is considered to be a valuable source of information on the local area, potential impacts, and relative importance of different issues. Now, there is monitoring. The part of the environment impact study covering monitoring and management is often referred to as the environmental action plan or environmental management plan. This section not only sets out the mitigation measures needed for environmental management, both in the short and long term, but also the institutional requirements for implementation. The term institutional is used here in its broadest context to encompass relationships, establishment by law between individuals and government, between individuals and groups involved in economic transactions, developed to articulate legal, financial, and administrative links among public agencies, motivated by socio psychological stimuli among groups and individuals. The purpose of monitoring is to compare predicted and actual impacts, particularly if the impact are either very important or the scale of impact cannot be very accurately predicted. The results of monitoring can be used to manage the environment, particularly to highlight problems early so that action can be taken. Now, there is auditing. In order to capitalize on the experience and knowledge gained, the last stage of an environment impact assessment is to carry out an environmental audit. Sometimes, sometime after completion of the project or implementation of a program, it will therefore usually be done by a separate team of specialists to that working on the bulk of the environment impact assessment. The audit should include an analysis of technical, procedural, and decision making aspects of the environment impact assessment. The audit will determine whether recommendations and requirements made by the earlier EIA steps were incorporated successfully in the project implementations. Lessons learned and formally described in an audit can greatly assist in future environment impact assessments and build up the expertise and efficiency of the concerned institutions. बाकी आइंदा इंशाल्लाह रहमान अल्लाह हाफिज़.